Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Weight Room Overtime. As always, I am your host, Coach Jovan, and I am sorry for all the true fans out there that have been watching my show and listening to my podcast. It has been a while since I have recorded slash uploaded a podcast or an episode on any of the platforms, and just wanted to give you an insight here. I finished grad school, so I was busy wrapping that up, and that took a lot of my time. And then I took a little break from life. I had still full-time work, and I have two little young daughters, so I got to spend some time with them, well needed time, and did some traveling and spend some family time. So that's why I took the time off. I had just been working hard, and I feel like I needed a break from everything. So but we're back, and we are ready. Got some exciting things to talk about since it has been a while, and hopefully you guys are still killing it, still putting in that work, still grinding to whatever goal that may be, whether that's work, fitness, sports, whatever it may be, right? Welcome back again, as I mentioned. And so today I had a question that has been kind of, I guess, asked too many times to me in a sense, or maybe, people have spiked some interest in personal training, right? And so the question or the topic today is going to be, should you hire whether it is an online coach for fitness specifically. So if you're going to hire a personal trainer online, if you're going to buy programs from somebody online, or a strength and conditioning coach online, what are my thoughts on that, right? And I can't be a little bit biased because I'm a strength and conditioning coach myself, a personal trainer as well, and I currently don't have any clients right now in person, only because I moved to a new state, and I'm still kind of getting acclimated into where I live, and obviously I was finishing school, but I do have some interest in people trying to work out with me, or being clients of mine, which is going to happen soon. I just have to work some logistics out. But anyways, the question is, right, should I hire a online trainer? And the reason I asked this question to you guys, or kind of just relaying some of this information for you guys, is because there now has been one day where I go on, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever social media platform you're on, and there's 1,000 people that do online training, right? And people that are really into fitness, which is great. I love seeing it. The only doubts that I have, or I guess things that you should be aware about when looking to purchase training programs from somebody, is, are they certified first and foremost? Have they studied the science behind exercise? And the reason I say that is because, yes, if somebody goes and works out, you know, this is the first time working out, and then within their year or 2 years they lost 30 pounds and gained all this muscle. Hey, that's bound to happen because they haven't been training, right? So what about somebody that's been training for 15 years? How would you change that, right? So hey, it's all great. I love that people are sharing their knowledge, and hey, you should do this booty workout, or you should do this, upper chest or bicep workout. It just baffles me because there is people that are going to listen to it, and people are going to try to do it, whether they're prepared for it or not, right? So the reason why exercise science is important, or people that are certified, whether that's strength and conditioning or whether that's personal training, is because there is a point where we understand where you stand today, whether that's from stability, endurance, strength, um, whether you are capable enough to complete a 5 mile run, right? Or capable of, performing a one rep max the correct way. Sorry. Same thing for deadlift, squat, whatever it may be, right? So the way that we focus on is understanding assessments before we go and apply a 12-week program. So it's more catered to you specifically, so you're able to see the results a little bit better, as well as reducing the risk for injury, right, or fatigue, right? So I've seen some programs out there where people share, hey, do this for 6 weeks and you're gonna get a massive gain in your biceps, for example, right? Well, anything you put load on progressively, progressively overload over time, obviously it will grow and get stronger. However, you just can't go today, well, I'm gonna go do 3 sets of really heavy bicep curls for 4 sets of three, right? Why would you do that, right? When there is other methods that we know as exercise scientists or trainers, of how to accomplish that over the next 6 weeks correctly, right? And potentially see bigger strengths, gains in strength as well too, sir, right? So So that's one of the things you should focus on when looking to purchase a training program from somebody online that you don't know about. Do a little bit more research into what their studies are within exercise science, as well as, hey, are they just selling me a program where I get to follow whatever they have written for everybody else, or is it more catered to me specifically and my testing, right? So testing like 1 mile run, 2 mile run, your posture, your strength in your abdomen, for example. That all goes into play when signing a training program. So that's the first thing I want you guys to notice. The other thing is it more, the second thing I want you to focus on is what is specifically your goal, right? So obviously that's a little cliche and people are like, oh, my goal is to lose 50 pounds, right? Or 30 pounds. You've heard of the term SMART goal, right? Where it has to be attainable, it has to be specific to you. And can you accomplish that goal in that realistic amount of time? So that's another thing you have to ask yourself is how committed are you and how achievable is it? Where is it too much of a reach, or is it something that, hey, I can push myself a little bit and be able to accomplish that, right? So for example, if you hear, hey, lose, 30 pounds in a month, hey, listen, that's going to be completely bizarre. They're selling you just on the fact that they think you are overweight and you're going to buy this because you want to lose 30 pounds, right? A more realistic goal is like, hey, I want to lose 30 pounds in the next 12 months. That's more realistic because, hey, we can target that little by little, whether that's 2 pounds a month or, 2 pounds a week or whatever it may be, something that's more attainable rather than, hey, I'm going to just lose all this 30 pounds and it's not going to be any benefit really after when I'm done, right? Depending on how they structure the program. So that's the second thing is it realistic and is it achievable to reach your own personal goals, not their goals. Their goals is going to be, hey, I want to study this program, right? So whatever it may look fancy or sound fancy, hey, in the next 6 weeks, you're going to lose 30 pounds. Hey, let's be realistic. Think a second. Is that realistic for myself, right? How active are you a day? Do you count your steps? Do you track your calories? Do you keep track of your workouts currently, right? A lot of things go into play when looking to purchase a program. So I want you guys just to understand from a trainer standpoint, some of the things you may want to look at. So that's number 2, right? Number 3 is is this something you're going to be able to maintain after you finish those 12 weeks? So right, so let's say they sell you a 12-week program, right? And let's say you accomplished it, you saw some results, they were great. Where do you go from there? Right? Are you going to purchase another tough in the person and keep making that guy money because he sold you the first program because it was structured? Or do you move on to something else, whether that's, hey, I want to study this now and see how I can do periodization on my own and understand how to structure my programs before wasting another $100 or $60, whatever it may be. And girls, I know there's a lot of trainers out there and boys as well where they're just trying to sell you this package. They're just trying to make money, right? Everybody these days is trying to make money. Anybody that loses weight thinks they're their trainer. Everybody that looks good, under their without a shirt, whatever it be, they think they're trainers, right? Just because you work out a lot doesn't necessarily make you a trainer. And that's kind of the point where I'm trying to come across here is like, hey, yes, some people know what they're talking about. Some people just are spitting shit out of their mouth that just doesn't make sense. And it happens quite often. Not saying everybody's like that online, but majority of them are, right? Whether there's somebody that's studying exercise science, somebody that's been training for a few years and they look good, hey, yeah, that's fine. The other thing is, hey, don't doubt the ones that maybe are not bodybuilders. Not everybody wants to be a bodybuilder when it comes to exercise science or fitness. I think that's another thing to consider is like, okay, yes, my trainer is a bodybuilder, so I'm going to purchase a program from there because that's what I want to do, right? That's another thing you want to focus on is, hey, should you purchase a program from somebody that is more focused on making money and just selling whatever just because they look good and they competed or whatever it may be? That doesn't always work that way. From my perspective, right? I've seen people that buy it and never follow the program because, again, it was never, I guess, focused on their areas of weakness compared to somebody that's going to, for example, myself, if I were to get a new client, I would go through the assessments, figure out where they stand. From there, plan on a couple weeks, retest, see where they're at, and keep going, right? That's the best way to do it just because we want to see, hey, are we improving or am I just selling something, right? So from a trainer standpoint, and there's personal trainers out there that are currently doing this as well, where they're just trying to make money and sell you whatever. Again, do a little bit more research, watch a couple YouTube videos. There's great trainers online that have been doing this for a while and understand, where the areas that you may need, right, compared to somebody that's just trying to make money. So that's some of the areas, and I want to get you guys' this feedback on this. Anybody that's watching this video, listening to this, have you guys purchased a training program from somebody, um, and have noticed results, whether that was positive or negative? I would love to know. Just make sure you comment or whatever it may be. Let me know if it's worth your money, and if it works for you, great. If not, hey, it might be time to reevaluate that purchase and see if you're actually making a great investment before you spend some money on that. Right, you're better off spending money on healthy groceries. You might lose weight that way a little bit better, right? So that's the thing I wanted to focus on today when it comes to that. The other thing I want you to focus on is if you're an athlete, I would consider looking more in a sense of a strength and conditioning coach. And the reason why I recommend a strength and conditioning coach, and I'm both, right? I do personal training and I do strength and conditioning for athletes. So I understand the world of both. And the reason I recommend, if you're an athlete today, if you're in college, high school, if you're amateur, pro, whatever it may be, or if you're playing at a very high level, right? What differentiates yourself from other players, and this happened to me when I was in college. We didn't have a strength and conditioning coach until maybe my last year, right? And I see a lot of young talent, people that can actually make it, but they don't have the foundation of becoming a stronger athlete when it comes to strength and conditioning. And the reason I say that is because for example, soccer players, that's the world that I live in, that's the world that I kind of focus on. There's a lot of young soccer players that are not strong enough to be able to compete at those higher levels, but their techniques, they're flawless on the ball. They can shoot, they can pass. The only thing that holds them up is, hey, can you hit a 60-yard ball across the field every single time perfectly, right? Can you execute that movement? Can you execute a high jump? Can you execute, somebody's going to push you off of the ball? How well can you keep that ball? So there's little things that we can fix when it comes to strength and conditioning coach rather than just being a personal trainer. A personal trainer does understand to the extent of what may be needed for an athlete as far as like what sport you play. However, when a strength and conditioning coach comes in, they're able to evaluate you based on specific testing that is particular to that sport. So we always want to mimic movements that are going to happen in the game or practice. That way you're better conditioned as well as, over time becoming stronger on those weak points, right? Whether that's lateral movements, whether that's jumping, whether that's landing mechanics, right? So there's a lot of things that we focus on. So if you're an athlete today, some of the things that I would encourage you is go talk to a strength and conditioning coach. Yes, it does cost money. Obviously, we are experts in the field. And it's just like anything else, right? If you're going to go to somebody that's an expert in a specific in the science, obviously it costs money. If you go to a trainer, it's going to cost you money, right? It might be a little bit more just because we spend more money on programming, not money, sorry. We spend more time programming out your year. We call it an annual training program compared to a trainer. A trainer might, you book it based off how many training sessions, right? We don't care about the training sessions. Some of them do, some of them don't. We care about more of a long-term plan and how we're going to accomplish that plan, right? Based off your performance, your testing, and then your games, basically what sport you're playing, right? So a lot of it goes into play of what specifics you do today, and then how we're going to plan out for the year. If you're a senior in high school and looking to play college, this is a great time. And the reason is because, hey, you still are peaking in your sport as an athlete, as a human being, right? If you progressively keep playing, you keep better, right? But how do we make you go from, okay, I'm kind of good, but I was in varsity, I got, I won a state cup, regional cup, whatever it may be. But how do I get to a D1 college? How do I get to a higher level college that I want to play at? Or I'm gonna go play pro or go try out a couple teams. How do you become bigger, faster, stronger within that year so you can go and compete at a higher level, right? So just my 2 cents there. I know it's been a topic that I've been wanting to talk about because there is a lot of false information out there, and I want you guys to understand. I'm never gonna sell you something that I don't think is gonna benefit you. And here's my last question. I think everybody that is on a training program should understand. Even trainers, if you're a trainer, great. Here's the one thing I recommend for everybody that's on a training program today or looking to purchase one, whether that's or creating their own. If you don't know the purpose of an exercise in a training program, then it shouldn't be done or it shouldn't be in a program. That is my number one, I would guess, pet peeve for trainers as well as athletes that think they know it all because they're good at the sport. It doesn't make you a good trainer, right? Uh, if you like again, if you don't understand the reason behind an exercise, for example, if you do squat jumps, split, Bulgarian split squats, if you don't know the reasoning for doing that exercise, what's the point? right? So that's kind of my 2 cents and kind of understanding why I'm saying this, because you're wasting your time sometimes on some of these specific exercises when you can be focusing on something else that's more particular to what your goals are, right? So that not everybody is on the same program. It shouldn't be, at least at least from my perspective, and my knowledge. It should be catered specifically to yourself, your human body, because the way you breathe, the way you perform, your muscles are different than somebody else's, right? So you can't. It's not a similar program for everybody else. So that is it for today, guys. I know it's a super short. Give me a break. I'm coming back. I do have more videos coming and more episodes for you, but I just wanted to get everything going again. I know it's been a while, and I really appreciate you guys watching and listening to the podcast. We do have some guests coming as well, since it has been a while, and people love the guests and people love to interact. If you have questions specifically in anything, whether that's exercise science, whether that's school, whether that's athletes, whether that's anything like that, if you have a kid playing sports and you want to just kind of encourage or understand how do I make my kid better at the sport or whatever it may be, just send me a message, drop a comment, whatever you want. Let me know what topics you guys want to hear. And until then, hopefully you guys are safe, healthy, and make sure you exercise and eat well. Take care, guys.